Most of the Adams family went to the bank together that morning. There were Mr. Adams, Annabelle, Jimmy, and Annabelle's married sister with her 2 little girls aged 5 and 9. They passed Jimmy's hotel, and Jimmy ran up to his room and brought along his bag. Then they went to the bank. All went inside, Jimmy too, for he was one of the family. Everyone in the bank was glad to see the good-looking, nice young man who was going to marry Annabelle. Jimmy put down his bag. Annabelle, laughing, put Jimmy's hat on her head and picked up the bag.
"How do I look?" she asked. "Ralph, how heavy this bag is. It feels full of gold." "It's full of some things I don't need in my shop," Jimmy said. "I'm taking them to the city, to the place where they came from. That saves me the cost of sending them. I'm going to be a married man. I must learn to save money." The Elmore Bank had a new safe. Mr. Adams was very proud of it, and he wanted everyone to see it. It was as large as a small room, and it had a very special door. The door was controlled by a clock. Using the clock, the banker planned the time when the door would open. At other times, no one, not even the banker himself, could open it. He explained about it to Mr. Spencer. Mr. Spencer seemed interested, but he did not seem to understand very easily. The 2 children, May and Agatha, enjoyed seeing the shining heavy door with all its special parts. While they were busy like this, Ben Price entered the bank and looked around. He told a young man who worked there that he had not come on business. He was waiting for a man. Suddenly there was a cry from the women. They had not been watching the children. May, the 9-year-old, had playfully but firmly closed the door of the safe, and Agatha was inside. The old banker tried to open the door. He pulled at it for a moment. "The door can't be opened," he cried. "And the clock! I hadn't started it yet." Agatha's mother cried out again. "Quiet," said Mr. Adams, raising a shaking hand. "All be quiet for a moment. Agatha!" He called as loudly as he could. "Listen to me." They could hear, but not clearly, the sound of the child's voice. In the darkness inside the safe, she was wild with fear. "My baby!" her mother cried. "She will die of fear! Open the door! Break it open! Can't you men do something?" "There isn't a man nearer than the city who can open that door," said Mr. Adams in a shaking voice. "My God, Spencer, what shall we do? That child, she can't live long in there. There isn't enough air, and the fear will kill her." Agatha's mother, wild too now, beat on the door with her hands. Annabelle turned to Jimmy, her large eyes full of pain, but with some hope, too. A woman thinks that the man she loves can somehow do anything. "Can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you?"
He looked at her with a strange, soft smile on his lips and in his eyes. "Annabelle," he said, "give me that flower you're wearing, will you?" She could not believe that she had really heard him, but she put the flower in his hand. Jimmy took it and put it where he could not lose it. Then he pulled off his coat. With that act, Ralph D. Spencer passed away and Jimmy Valentine took his place. "Stand away from the door, all of you," he commanded. He put his bag on the table and opened it flat. From that time on, he seemed not to know that anyone else was near. Quickly, he laid the shining, strange tools on the table. The others watched as if they had lost the power to move. In a minute, Jimmy was at work on the door. In 10 minutes, faster than he had ever done it before, he had the door open. Agatha was taken into her mother's arms. Jimmy Valentine put on his coat and picked up the flower and walked toward the front door. As he went, he thought he heard a voice call,
"Ralph?"
He did not stop. At the door, a big man stood in his way. "Hello, Ben," said Jimmy, still with his strange smile. "You're here at last, are you? Let's go. I don't care now." And then Ben Price acted rather strangely. "I guess you were wrong about this, Mr. Spencer," he said. "I don't believe I know you, do I?" And Ben Price turned walked slowly down the street.